Good morning, students. I'm here in the office with Marcello. We gave him a haircut yesterday. Maybe you can tell. Marchi. His little ears are shorter now. And on his body, it's pretty patchy. It's kind of hard to tell with the bright sunlight coming in. But for example, you can see this paw has a lot of long hair and this one does not. This whole leg is a lot fluffier. So we tried with some like hair clippers that Keelan's dad has, but his little hair is so fine and thin that it wouldn't even like be cut by the clippers. So we had to use scissors and he was very grumpy. But at the end, he got a little treat, so he was happy with that. And we're not finished. We'll probably try and trim some more off later. Oh. All right, we're gonna go in the kitchen now. All right, now I'm in the kitchen. I have my cup of morning tea. This is Earl Grey, and I wanted to show you guys how they use teapots in Keon's parents' house to make tea. It's very cool. So, let's see. So this is the main pot they use to boil water. It's very large, and what's special about it is that the handle is on a hinge, so it can move. And how they make the tea is they first boil a bunch of water in here. And then in this pot, they've got the tea leaves in here. So they've got this little, I'll show you, this strainer, and inside are the tea leaves so they don't get into the water and float around. And then once they've boiled water in this pot, they put the handle down, take the lid off. You put some of the boiling water in here, and then you sit it on top. So basically they can sit together on the stove and they can stay warm at the same time. And then the way that they serve the tea is that you pour it from the small pot into your mug, and that tea is super dark and bitter and very saturated with flavor, so then you can add some plain hot water from the pot underneath to even it out. So you can basically control how dark you want your tea. It's kind of like how long you leave the tea bag in if you're just having tea bag tea, but fancier and more fun. Definitely more of a ritual than regular tea bag tea. Also, Keon's mom just made some banana bread. There are some chocolate chips. We're excited. All right. Yeah, when I first learned about how they made tea, it blew my mind because in my house, my parents have a teapot, they don't even use it. They put water in a mug and microwave it, and then they stick a bag in there, and that's like the most depressing way to drink tea ever, in my opinion. So, I really like the way they do it here. It just feels more like a special event, and I mean, drinking tea is already nice because it's something nice and warm and cozy. Perfect to have pretty much any time of day, but especially in the mornings. And it just makes it more special and fun. All right, so we had our Marchi haircut update. I showed you guys how they make tea here in the Taranchi household. And the last thing I wanted to do is share a poem. And let me find it. This is a poem by a Persian poet named Rumi, who lived a really long time ago, and is very famous for poems with lots of wisdom. A lot of them are about love. Honestly, I don't know as much about him as I would like to. So I'm going to read this poem called The Guest House, and I think it has a lot of connections to stuff that we've done in class about mindfulness. The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So there's definitely a tone of spirituality at the end of the poem, that like any feeling and experience you have is something coming from a divine place. But I see this connecting a lot to mindfulness, because through practicing mindfulness, we learn to come to terms with all of our feelings. And a lot of feelings, especially in a time right now in life, you might be frustrated, you might be afraid, you might be angry, and it's not the healthiest thing to want to shut all those feelings out and think to yourself that you shouldn't be feeling that way. It's normal to have feelings that are negative, especially in an experience like this. And just like the poem says, you kind of want to welcome those things in, because they're going to teach you something. Each feeling that we have comes with some kind of message. And so by practicing mindfulness, we're better able to welcome those feelings in rather than trying to shut them out or pushing them down until they just kind of erupt in an act of violence, whether that is like an outburst, like I talked about in yesterday's video, or just like a harsh word against someone that you love. So by being mindful and practicing, connecting to yourself and tuning into your breath, you can be better prepared to handle these feelings when they come up. So we can get closer and closer to welcoming them with open arms, even and when it's sorrow or something really negative that feels heavy. And this also kind of reminds me of, for my AP kids, William Faulkner reading As I Lay Dying, his perspective that he would rather, if he had the choice between pain and nothing, he would rather experience pain. So even though, as humans we have a lot of negative experiences in our lives, that's part of the miracle of being alive, in addition to all of the wonderful things we get to see and do as well. All right, managed to keep today's video under 10 minutes. I'm impressed with myself. I'm going to take that pride throughout the rest of the day. I hope you guys are doing well and that you're having a good week. Tomorrow we'll have a video class for my college-bound kids and my A5 AP kids. I look forward to seeing you guys. This week's video classes are more of an opportunity just to ask questions about all the changes that have been announced this week with grading and how we're moving on with the rest of the year. And if there's anything you guys want to talk about with the readings that we've been doing, that as well. So I look forward to seeing you all soon, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.